have set your goals for the new year, you have learned ways on how to be consistent. Now we're going to be talking about things that hinder you from achieving your goals. So later on, at the beginning of the year, everyone is excited about how they change their life, new year, new beginning, and everything. But then when it gets to February, March, that whole motivation and all excitement starts to wear off. And there are some certain things that hinder us from achieving your goals. So in this video, we're going to be talking about a few things that hinder us from achieving our goals. So the first thing is lack of clarity. So unclear or vague goals makes us to be unclear lack of clarity. So unclear or vague goals can make us not to be able to create a focused plan of action. So if you just have goals that are unclear to you, or they are not defined, they are not detailed, or they are not defined, it may enable you not to be able to make a clear or a focused plan on action. Imagine if you set goals like read, like the main goal is reading. You don't know how many, you did not put like an amount of books, but if you be one of your goals is to read, like you just put the goal read, you will not really have a plan of action because you didn't put any amount, you didn't put whether you're supposed to read, I don't maybe every month, every day. But if you be like, in 2024 I want to read about 10 books. Okay, 10 books. If you have 10 books you want to read, or you want to read 12 books for example, okay, your plan of action is to read one book each month. And for that one book probably is about 20 chapters, so you can say you want to read 20 minutes of that book every day. And that way you have a clear and defined and definite plan of action. But if you just be like read, you don't know what to read, you don't know how many books to read, you don't have a clear or defined you don't have a clear or defined number of goals, number of books you're supposed to read, you just be like read. So at the end of the year, if you read a newspaper, you have actually achieved that goal, because you just said read. You didn't state what you're supposed to read. You didn't state how many books you're supposed to read. You did not say what you're supposed to read exactly. So if you read a magazine or a newspaper or an article online, it's classified as you've read. Secondly is procrastination, our friend that we're trying to get rid of. So delaying tasks can lead us to missing opportunities and delay progress. So it always happens when you have a goal that you feel that is bigger than you, or something that you find it very hard to accomplish. So as I said in the last video, if you have any goals that are too big, or you feel like it's bigger than you, or you feel you are not capable of achieving that goal, you should break that goal into smaller pieces, probably 12 pieces, and each month you you and each month you achieve one of those tasks. So at the end of the year, you know that you have gotten to your end goal, which is the last task for each year, and that will be the end of that goal. So procrastination is basically delaying tasks for whether you did something that is easier to do at that time, or whatever you want to do is too difficult, or you feel that it's too difficult for you. So if you have a goal that you feel that is too difficult, or you are incapable to achieve, or you're afraid that you won't be able to achieve this, and you keep on pushing it over, you can break that goal into small pieces so that you can do each piece before you finally get to your end goal. So three is fear of failure. Like I talked about it before, you're afraid of achieving a goal. So fear of failure. So this fear can paralyze your actions, and it can prevent you from taking the necessary risk. So when you're afraid, oh, will I fail? Would I get this right? When you're afraid, you'll be it's kind of linked with procrastination, because if you are afraid that what if you fail, what if you don't do this right, you won't want to take necessary risk, and you keep on pushing over that goal, and at the end of the year you find out that you've not achieved that goal, and you end up pushing it over to the next year. So fear of failure can be one of the things that hinder you from achieving your goals. Four is lack of planning. Fail to plan is plan to fail. So failure in planning or lack of planning can later on lead to confusion and disorganization. So if you didn't plan your goals well, or if you did not make a plan of action, at some point you get confused about how to achieve this particular goal, and then you end up pushing it aside. So I realized that from my yearly reflection, I realized that the reason why I end up not achieving some of my goals for the year is because I never actually made a plan of action. Everyone else was telling me to set a goal or set goals, but they never actually taught me or told me or guided me on how to achieve those goals. And I didn't make a plan of actions, and I ended up not achieving some of my goals. And at this point, my goals for 2023 is nowhere to be found, because I wrote it in a piece of paper and I don't know where it is, unfortunately. Five is distractions. So constant interruptions can lead to derail in progress, because if you're always getting distracted by social media, let's say you want to exercise, and then the first thing you do is to wake up in the morning and get your phone, you start scrolling mindlessly. Before you know it, it's very late, and then you forget the fact that you're supposed to be exercising before you go to school or work or wherever it is you're going to. And if you do this consistently, before you know it, it's June or July, and then you realize that you have not exercised for the past 6 months. So distraction is one of the things that can hinder you from achieving your goals. And I think, yeah, so yeah, distraction is one of the things that can hinder you from achieving your goals, because if you're constantly getting interrupted or distracted, probably you want to start doing something as a habit, and then there's something always popping up. For example, if you want to read or you want to study, and there's this constant notification that is always popping up on your phone, and then once you open it, it leads to another, and that leads to another, and that leads to another. Before you know it, you say you want to study for 2 hours and you've studied nothing at all for that day. And if that continually happens, is you find out that it's already the end of the term or the middle of the term if you're writing midterms, and you have not studied, and then you start focusing on last minute preparations. So just like that, you can apply that ideology to goals. If you keep on getting distracted or constantly interrupted from achieving your goals, that is one of the hindrances of achieving your goals. Six is negative self-talk. So negative thoughts can undermine confidence and motivation. Sorry, so if you always, putting negative thoughts in your head, telling yourself that you can't do it, just like they say, whatever you want to achieve must first of all be in your mind. If your mindset is that you cannot achieve this, there's no way you can achieve it. So if you change your mindset to a positive mindset using positive affirmations, like I said in my last video on how to be consistent, if your environment is positive, you have a positive mindset, just like they said that if you want to achieve something, it's first of all in your mind. You have to visualize it in your mind that you're going to achieve it, and eventually you will achieve it. But if you're in your mind and telling yourself that you cannot achieve this, then there's no way you can achieve it, because just the way you say a clustered space is a clustered mind. So however your environment is, that's how it is in your mind. So everything starts from your mind. When you believe in yourself and in your mind you tell yourself that you can do something, then you'd work towards doing it. But if in your mind you're telling yourself that you can't, then eventually you see yourself not being able to do it. Seven is overcommitting. So when you are taking too much on taking too much on yourself at once, it can lead to being burnt out and reduce effectiveness. Just like when you have an exam and you want to read and you want to study six subjects in one day. Just imagine you want to study six subjects in one day, and the six subjects that you want to study are math, history, geography, physics, chemistry, and biology. Imagine you want to study those six subjects in one day, and you still have other things to do apart from studying. Probably you have responsibilities, work, school, whatever. You want to study those six subjects in one day. After calculating maths, you still want to, in those six subjects, we have, I think, two or three calculating subjects. Then I think two lengthy subjects and one with a lot of terms, I think. Okay, math is calculating. I think there's a little bit of calculating in physics. I'm not sure. Chemistry, I think there's a lot of terms too, as well as biology and geography. Geography, I think there should be a lot of terms and notes, but I'm not sure. But anyways, imagine you are studying those six subjects, because I know that biology, physics, and chemistry are science. Geography is art, also as well as history, and maths is also science as well. So imagine you're reading or you're solving or whatever this subject in one day. How would you feel after? Most students, they don't like math, so imagine after doing math problems you go to history, and then after history, after those two subjects, you're already tired, so those four subjects will be out of it. So put that same ideology in setting goals. Let's say you have a lot of goals and then you put everything upon yourself, and then you are overcommitting, and then at the end of the day you get burnt out and it reduce effectiveness. How And then at the end of the year you spent your year being burnt out, and then at the end of the year when you are doing your 2024 reflections, how would you feel? You spend the whole year being burnt out, and then you still did not get anything done. Just try to imagine how you would feel. Eight is lack of accountability. So without any external accountability, it's easier to neglect your goals. Because if you don't have anyone tapping you or telling you or reminding you that you're supposed to do this thing every day, which you said you have done, you just, at a point, you just forget about it, or you just keep pushing it aside because there's no one telling you to do it. For example, for someone who hates studying, and your parents or your mom especially is always telling you to read, and she's always pressurizing you and always telling you that you're supposed to read, and then eventually you just pick up your book and actually read. So place that kind of ideology, I said that thing 4 times in this video, place that kind of ideology in goal setting. Like, let's say you're supposed to take your medication, for example, and then you keep forgetting to take your medication. If someone is not if there's someone there, if you told your friend or family member that you're supposed to be taking this medication because it's good for your health in the new year and stuff like that, and then someone is always reminding you, take your medication, take your medication, take your medication, at a point you start remembering to take your medication, because that person's voice is always ringing in your head, take your medication, take your medication. And then even if you end up not remembering you're supposed to take your medication, when someone is telling you, at least whether someone is telling you or whether you finally remember to take your medication, at the end of the year you see your improvements on what those medications has done for you, and then you can add it as one of your achieved goals for year 2024. So the ninth thing is lack of patience. So when you are lacking patience, it leads you to get frustrated, and leads you to abandoning your goals prematurely. So imagine you are like, you want to exercise more because you want to, like, maybe you're on the weighty side, and then you want to like exercise, and then you want to like slim down, and then after like 3 months of like exercising, if you're being after like 3 months of consistency, you you don't see any improvement, or the improvement that you're seeing is too little. Or let's say you weigh maybe like 80 kg, and then by the end of the year you want to be weighing 60 kg, and then for after 3 months of exercise, from 80 you just went down to like, I don't know, 75 or 76, but then you still look almost the same way that you looked before, and then you get impatient, and then you just get frustrated, and then you know what, you just throw that goal out the window because you feel that it's not helping you. And then that also hinders, and then sorry, at the end of the year you realize that you did not achieve your goal. Matter of fact, you increased to 85 kg, you're unhappy with yourself, and then you just look yourself in the mirror and be like, you just be so sad that instead of reducing just the way you say you would, you increased by an extra 5 kg, or in that case 10 kg. How would you feel if you were in that person's shoes? Like, how would you feel go doing worse than you thought you're supposed to? Like, how would you feel? And this is one of the things that hinder us from, you know, achieving our goals. So I would advise to be patient, because big achievement, great achievement started small. All these people out there that you see are having big things, they all started from, all these somebodies, all these celebrities that you see out there, they all started from being a nobody. Nobody knew them when they were struggling, or when they were, hustling and bustling to get to the position that they were today. They were, just know that a somebody was a nobody one day, like in the past. Somebody up there was a nobody. Just the way they say the founder of KFC, he failed in everything he did, in every job opportunity that he had 99 times, and then he realized that he could cook, and then now we see his face as the logo of KFC. Let's say for the 98th time, or the 99th time, let's say after that 99th time he gave up, will you be seeing KFC, or will there anything like KFC be existing now? Okay, what if the man said, okay, I'm not going to try after this 99th time? What if this man, there was no 100, like being able to cook? What if he just gave up at, I don't know, number 10? Would you be seeing the logo of the man right now? Will his legacy still be here? No. So everybody that is a somebody now was a nobody in the past. Just put that in your mind. Everyone that was a somebody today was a nobody before. So the last one that I'll be taking in today is perfectionism. So when you're striving to be perfect, it may lead to dissatisfaction with progress. So imagine you want everything to be perfect, you want your goals to go the way it is, you want your action plan to go the way it's supposed to, and then maybe in the year something pops up, and then everything is just disrupted, and then you just feel so scattered, and you feel that at the end of the everything is supposed to be perfect, but it's not, and then you just be like, you know what, this goal is not for me, you throw it out the window. And that is the last hindrance for achieving goal that I'm going to be talking about today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys will be able to list out some things that usually hinder you from achieving your goals. And make sure you put in the comment section below, I want you guys to write from your reflection of 2023, I want you guys to write down things that you feel hindered you from achieving your goals in 2023, and how you'll be changing that in 2024. I wish you guys a happy new year in advance, and see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.